limited liability, it is personal and total for the consequences of that design. The engineer, I hope this is not in dispute, that in the family of engineer, technologist, technician, craftsman, the engineer is the leader and accepts responsibility for all of them, for the action of the craftsman himself as engineer. And that is the engineer. And so once the leader has accepted responsibility and signified it, it is unnecessary for any other member of the team to assume equal responsibility. That is the explanation. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I have the benefit of having you around. Engineer Kashim Ali will take his 2 questions before more come.
Mr. President, thank you very much. The first one is the decentralization of the Coren Assembly. Well, it was tried before, and it was woeful in failure, because people found that those who were seen every day were the same people who were seen at the assembly. And the whole essence of the assembly is for us to come together, network, learn new things. You know, often we don't even value some things that come to us, maybe the manner they come to us. I'm sure some people have seen friends and colleagues they have not seen in years at this meeting. There are some people who are, who struggle to even come, even if they were ill, because it's a way of getting out and getting some free air. But largely, if we don't come together this way, and we stay, for instance, you say you stay in North Central, you do your own, you only discuss issues that bother you there, and you don't understand the problems that bother the people in the Southeast or in the South and other places. At the end of the day, your solutions are quite limited, and it will be difficult to execute. So a trial has proven that this is not a good option. And also, if we won't look at it with clear mind, logical mind, you see that the best way to do is for us to all to come together. After all, we went to schools, we didn't only go to school in our localities. So it would be better that we do it that way. That is my response to that. As for general, yes. I recall I was ambitious enough to ask for engineer general when I was president of the NSC. And we actually went to the head of service, a committee was set up, and we had a elaborate discussion. Unfortunately, the tenure of our head of service, engineer Bello Keke, didn't last for so long, so we couldn't push it forward. But even before we had started, we saw a lot of obstacles. Like the President noted, we're saying that for instance, Engineer General should also be permanent secretary of Ministry of Works. But works, as it was initially conceptualized, was works for everything engineering. But works today has changed character. And you have engineers that are power-based, that should be reporting to power. You have those that are even in more innovation area that are in science and tech and all other institutions. So it was a problem. Because the idea was, if we are going to have an engineer general, he will be responsible for posting all engineers. Now, if he's a civil engineer in charge of Ministry of Works, how will he adequately, professionally post power engineers in the power industry and all the rest? Let's identify something, engineers and my members of the engineering family. Engineering is a lot more complex than all these professional groups we talk about. If you talk about medicine, everybody goes and does MBBS or whatever it is called, but you have the same qualification as a basic qualification. But you know that even at the bachelor's degree level, we have already diversified. You see somebody is in chemical, he hardly knows anything about civil. You have electrical who hardly knows something about geotechnics. So there are so many things that we are bringing together. But we are thinking that if we come together, we can unite and strengthen our capacity to deliver service to our nation. So let's look at those complexities and not begin to compare ourselves to everybody because they do things. Because the truth is, even the people we seem to hail, they don't hail themselves the way we do. I recall as president of NSA and also president of president of Coren, I had cause to intervene in Akon. I had to intervene. What kept Akon till it broke up recently was the intervention from Coren. But of course, you know that they are having big crisis right now. NIA is also scattered. Nobody is talking about that. We have issues even with the law and everything. So it's not rosy. But what they have done is to unite to project their profession no matter what. We should also unite to project engineering. Let's fight inside this hall, but when we are outside, keep the fight down and speak the same voice. We sit down in Nigeria and we compare ourselves to Ghana. We say Ghana is doing well. We don't know the crisis in Ghana is not up to what we have here. Their roads are bad. There's power failure in Ghana. People who are taking industry to Ghana is not because there's better power in Ghana. We are facing similar problems. The president is being accused of corruption. Everybody is being accused of corruption in Ghana as they are being accused here. Let's learn to, but in Ghana, everybody puts the flag of Ghana in their cars. Let's fly the flag of engineering. Yes, when we sit down in our confines, let's fight. But when we go out, let's sing the same song. Believe you me, these people are not doing so much better than we are, the way we think. So I think we can do better by just taking one step at a time. Coren has successfully brought NICET back. Now they are also building synergy strengthening the synergy that's among the groups. Let's help the leadership of Coren to do that. Let's have a strong engineering family. That way we can make progress. Please, that's my appeal. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for that intervention. Ajab. Engineer Professor Ajab.
Thank you, sir. President, you have my permission and authority to call me Ajab, no problem. With or without professor is acceptable. Now, the question here is to consider different fees during the assembly for registered members and then newly registered ones. Before I answer, let me make a correction. Many of us sitting in this hall, we don't know that we are not members of Coren. We are registered engineers on the register of Coren. Please, let's take note of this. Because in my university, when we are doing promotion under the Faculty of Engineering, there is a section. And then we want people to indicate whether they are registered Coren with Coren or not. And some people put there, member Coren. We say no. It is you are a registered engineer. So kindly note the one asking this question. We are not members of Coren. We are registered engineers on the register of Coren. Please, let's note this. And now on the fees regime. It's true we considered this when issues came up. But normally, we have engineers, technologists, technicians, and craftsmen. Like our friend said, the last bones are considered. But for engineers, it's not yet done. And after an assembly like this, council will normally review. So it's a thing that will be reviewed by council. This is a good suggestion to consider, particularly those who are just coming in. So it's something that will be considered if council deems fit. But we want those who are here to note that after the assembly, there will be a consideration by council. They will review not just the fields, but other things that happen during the assembly. And with this kind of a suggestion, I believe they will consider it, and if there is anything, council is normally open-minded. I believe they will look at it critically. And with the support of the Secretariat, they will bring out something that will be good enough. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Professor. His Excellency Engineer Felix Atume.
Mr. President, my question is a bit loaded, suggesting on CPD. How do you take care of a situation faced by most engineers these days of unemployment of engineers? As sometimes engineers can stay for up to a year without a job or contract. Sometimes you find him doing non-engineer's job to survive. Let me begin, Mr. President, by making a remark on the engineering family, because I'm involved. We looked at the technical colleges sometime back, and the council members were requested to go around the whole country to bring reports on technical colleges. And we took time in Coren to visit technical college in Ibadan, Enugu, and Kaduna. And we told NICET and NATE that these technical colleges, at least the three, should work well. We now had a retreat in Calabar on technical colleges. Mr. President, the outcome of that retreat should be given to everybody to see what we can do, because it's quite critical. Yesterday, we heard here that they are bringing artisans from Cameroon, from Ghana, from Togo to come and do jobs in Nigeria. Mr. President, if you go to Lagos, this is a lot of money. This is huge money we're talking about. Our technical colleges should produce people that can do these jobs well. In the market, it is he who does it well that you invite. So this should be our greatest concern now. Why should we allow other people to come and take up jobs that are generating wealth? Should be concern of everybody, the engineering family. But precisely to this question, Mr. President, let me tell a story that was told to me by Professor Bamiro, a former VC of Ibadan. Bamiro told me a story where a good friend of him brought a daughter to him when he was the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and told him to take care of the daughter. From the beginning of 100 level to the end, the daughter came out with a second-class upper division. The father went ahead and arranged a job with Shell, or any of these oil companies I've forgotten. And this lady refused to take the job. It was as if she was cursed. But the lady came to Bamiro and told him that, "Sir, Daddy, I want to be an employer. I want to be an employer." She now went and set up a hair salon in Bodija, in Ibadan, and brought engineering into that hair salon. She made it in such a way that it was programmed. You come in, you are reading magazines, your time is there, you do your hair, and you leave. It was programmed. At the end of the day, there was a queue for that hair salon, bringing engineering into hair salon. So I want to, this question of we're doing anything, sometimes you find us doing any job. I think anything you are doing, you can bring engineering to it. But most importantly, there are jobs we can create. There are jobs we can create. Waste management, something, the picture that was shown, Mr. President, engineers can take a street and manage waste on that street. Just one street, and the town will be clean. I thank you, Mr. President, for this opportunity to make a remark.
Thank you very much. Amadou Rufai.
Where is the paper? Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. While standing on the existing protocol, I find it interesting that this question came up because it has already been answered by the fact that this struggle, which took over many years, has reached a point that it has gone to the President's table of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for signature. All we should do is to pray that that signature is appended. But Mr. President, it is one who calls his clothes a rag that people will help to call it a rag. If you buy a cloth that costs 300 naira per meter, and you tell the world that you bought it for $300 per meter, people will believe it, depending on your status. Even after appending the signature, we ourselves, we need not to degrade ourselves. I recollect fully yesterday, the governor of Ebonyi, who is an FNSC and FNATE, when he was being addressed, he was just FNSC. Now, these little things matter because it's like a person who has gone mad one time. Then if he is cured, so when you are calling it a family and you decide to call one is your son and the other one is your adopted son, then of course there is already a discrimination. So in my view, we need to be all-encompassing in our approach. And I must thank Coren because when you look at the struggle of uniting us as a family, we took a journey of over 40 years. We've been to court, we have fought physically, we have used all kinds of foul languages in the past, and today here we are sitting and smiling. I congratulate Coren for that wonderful job. It's left for us to now work together. Mr. President, with your permission, I want to jump into somebody's line. When Engineer Tume was talking about our importation of craftsmen, of course, we too have a role to play. I can tell you vividly, today at technical colleges, at a time the government says no technical drawing is compulsory. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. NSC President, you have a question? You can sit down. It's over there.
I think I will read the question again so that the audience should know. The chairman of the occasion, His Excellency the Governor Umahi, did propose and give a suggestion of having